Sis,
Hi, Mary. How's it going?
I'm happy to be here.
So am I.
I'm happy to do this episode.
I know. This is going to be a very special one.
Yes, it's going to be the first of several.
Yes.
Where we're, like we said last time, this new quote unquote business model, where we are going to have these kind of like shorter, just talking videos, and then we'll
Mhm.
have our longer movie review videos. So, how's your week been, sis? What's going on?
It's been an interesting week, you know.
Okay.
Adulting is she's hitting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a week, but we powered through. We were so excited when Friday came along.
This
Um,
Friday was a sweet one.
she was delicious. Yes, I was
She was
happy.
a delicious one.
I was happy she was Friday.
Yeah.
Also petition to have 3-day weekends. I feel like everyone is more productive that way, but that's just me. Actually, it's not just me. It's 90% of the
Many,
people I talk to.
millions on planet Earth. Yeah.
Literally.
My cousin
Um,
actually does she works 10-hour days and then she has every other Friday off.
oh, love.
And I'm like, that's kind of smart. But if we did kept the 8-hour days
You know,
and had every other Friday off, I think we would have a happier workforce.
I agree. True. Yeah, if it actually stayed at the 8 hour limit, that would be
Yeah,
cute.
let's keep it at the 8 hours.
That would be
Yeah.
cute. But
Would
that
you
was
take a
my
pay cut for that?
um absolutely not. So
Yeah.
unfortunately that will not be happening anytime soon.
What?
um
Honestly, not at this level, to be
yeah,
honest.
not
Yeah,
right
not.
now at
I
least.
can't go lower.
Literally, you know what I'm saying? It's like I have the energy now, so I'll do it.
I
But that
have
was
so
my week. How was your week, bro?
My week was honestly pretty good.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, compared to the last month, I think it was my favorite week in April. April was a lot for me.
Yeah.
Um,
She doesn't like
it was
April
a
in general.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
April, she's
I
like,
haven't actually thought about that much. So that's a win. Actually, okay, we're gonna bring that back, okay, to
yeah.
our conversation. Okay. Um, but maybe that's why. Oh my God, bro, okay, so for context, the Aries season, we're talking horoscopes, right? Aries season
Yeah.
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
She don't like Aries.
And that really has, it's so funny because obviously this is our first year in working.
Yeah.
And usually there's so much time. I'm like, April. And I start thinking about dumb things like that. Did not cross my mind. And
No,
we're
the
almost at
way
the end
it's
of the
always
month.
off for Mary in April, she's like, I know it's off because it's April when we were in
Yeah.
college.
So there are actually months that I straight up don't really like.
Yeah.
And I've been open. There are numbers I don't like. There are letters I don't like. There
And
are
she's
months I don't
serious, guys.
like.
She's like very serious about that. Yeah.
I'm not joking. Why would I be joking? It's
Yeah.
not
No, no,
funny.
I
Yeah.
thought it was funny. I literally didn't take you seriously initially, but
Yeah.
then you're like, no, I'm being super honest.
I'm not playing. I'm not
Yeah.
playing. And I also take personality because it's very seriously. Yeah, I don't play.
Yeah.
I remember Sodi remembers when I did there's that Myers-Briggs personality test, when we sophomore year, and then I think I did it again senior year, and one of my letters changed. I
Oh my god, I want to give context if you're okay with that. Oh my god, so I don't know if you know Mary in person, but she's like to me one of the most social. Like, she can be friends with a rock, in my opinion. Like, she's really good at talking to people and making friends and all that. And for the longest time, she was like, I identify as an introvert. Lies. Like, we were all like side eyeing her. She's like, no, guys, like, I'm being so honest.
have so many things to say. I'm respecting you and letting you finish. Continue.
And on her first MBTI, MTBI,
Myers-Briggs.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the acronym is, on her first like results, she got introvert. And then on the second one, I think it was our senior year, she got an E, which meant extrovert. And her life, like her aura completely changed. Like she was broken. She was like, what? Gagged. Really? Like seriously gagged?
I
Like this.
literally remember sitting. I know which spot on the sofa.
Yeah.
I remember. Remember when I was like. I remember I was wearing black jeans. I don't know what I was wearing on top. Like I remember, and you and Iman looking at me like,
Like, yeah, makes
first
sense.
of all, don't be shocked.
Literally.
Second of all, you need to take a deep breath.
Bro,
I
Mary
remember the
was
moment.
silenced for like she was quiet for a while, which is like we were taken aback. We're like, Mary, it's fine. Like, she was like, no, but no. Like
It's
it's like
not
her
fine.
identity
It is
was
my
like,
identity at the time. Anyways, guys, I've grown up since,
that's so
but
funny.
like now I'm like like
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh no, that was literally the story. You're
Okay,
good.
so this introvert extrovert thing, first of all, it's a scam. It's not real. I had this conversation a couple weeks ago. It's not a thing. Like we need to, as a society, it doesn't exist. Like I hear all these stories of like, I'm introverted, but like I love spending time with people, or like I love meeting new people, but I need my alone time. Like, yeah, so does the majority of the planet. Like, there, there are very few people. I would say like, think of like the normal distribution. Think very few people that are actually fully extroverted or fully introverted.
But the
So
thing
I
is,
think
like,
we need a different measurement.
but I think it's like once I understood that it was an energy flow thing, like some people get their energy from talking to people and the extroverts, and then the introverts, like the more they talk, they're like, okay, like my
Like
energy
biologically
flow.
speaking,
Yeah.
we most people get energy by talking to people. Like
See,
we are
that's so
social
funny.
beings.
I don't like in most cases, not saying it's like it's just me. I'm just like only a few people where I talk to and I'm like, yeah, like I can talk to them for hours and hours and hours.
It's not about the length of time. It's just like social interactions
Hmm.
it's whatever serotonin, whatever. It does something to our brain.
To a
It
degree, yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To a degree, but then anything beyond that point, I think, is
Yeah.
what kind of
So
determines.
yeah, guys, I did have an identity thing about this introvert extrovert thing. That's part of honestly one of the great things about college. It's like you really like you come into college thinking you're one way and this is important to me, and then you leave being like I'm not that way. Plus, it doesn't even matter like that, or something matters more or less, right?
Yeah.
But I really did freak out. Um, it's yeah, that was a time. That was a
That was a
time.
tough time for
It's
Mary,
fine.
but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
so the thing about me is again, I don't think this introvert extrovert thing is real.
Yeah.
I love spending time with people I actually know.
Yeah.
Like okay, you started off by saying Mary's great at making new friends. That's not true. Like
But that's how I see it.
hate I hate interacting with strangers. It might come off as like I'm like obviously I'm not gonna like go mute, but I
Mm,
don't enjoy like even
but that's
networking
the
events.
option,
I don't
bro.
really like even like okay, for example, a great example is there's like a high school reunion something happening in June or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's also a Virginia Tech reunion happening this month, right?
Mm,
I would love to go, right? So, okay, so that's the extrovert in me. Like I want to go. I want to be there. I want to see what's
mm,
happening. But like I'm not going there to meet new people. I'm going there. I
mm,
want to go with people I know, with my own friends that I already have to go and enjoy it.
mm.
I'm not going there to like, you know what I mean? And there are people that go like they seek new connections.
Yeah.
I like connecting with people, but like it makes me nervous to be in a circle full of strangers.
Mm,
So you see, it's not real. Anyways, we can move
mm.
on from this topic,
That
but
is
that
very
shit is not
interesting.
real. Yeah.
Okay. I won't stop it.
Um, where was
No.
I going? Oh, my week. Yeah,
Yeah.
so um it's gonna be a really chill weekend. I'm loving my weekend. I'm binging the last season of You. I am in the middle of I'm about to finish a book that I've been enjoying and I'm about to start a new one. I'm
Yeah.
literally so excited.
Oh
So
my
the
god.
weekend is shaping up to be a really fun weekend.
Yeah.
Um and what else is going on? And then next week I'm traveling, so I'm just soaking in the at home energy. And I'm gonna see Iman next week. I'm so excited.
Oh, Black Santa.
It's
Yes.
gonna be fun. So yeah, I'm in a good mood.
Love that, bro. Yeah,
Probably because I'm talking to you, but just on
I
the
mean,
whole.
obviously that's a big
On the
factor.
whole, yeah.
Likewise, it's always an amazing time talking to Mary. But actually, we wanted to discuss a very exciting thing. Today, obviously, this is more of a shorter episode.
Mhm.
But I think it's like a feeling that we share. I think there's like a few things we want to touch upon, but it's just what we want to touch upon right now. It's like relationships, be it friendships or like more non-platonic friendships, non-platonic relationships, and how to approach them, and based on your attachment style, how you perceive certain things. And I think we're one of the best people to kind of touch upon that because our attachment styles are like very very different on like the opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm an
Wait,
avoidant,
hold on.
I think, right? No,
Hold on. I'm not that.
no, no, as in like just like we're more different than we're like when it comes to attachment style. Again, I'm not like extremely avoidant, and you're not extremely anxiously attached, but
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So we're in the middle. We're somewhere in the middle. We're on the different sides of the spectrum. Let me put it that way. I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
okay. So yeah, I think I just wanted to start on. We talked a bit about choosing how you spend your time. We touched a bit upon like how we spend our weekends. And I think Mary and I had a phone call earlier, and we were discussing, sometimes you gotta cancel plans. Um, you know,
Was that the message?
I mean, yeah, that was what I took from it.
Mean, it's part of it. It's
Mm,
definitely part of it. So it's
mm,
like we were talking about, yeah. So I think this probably kind of touches more into the friendship, but definitely for those that are in relationships, right? But
yeah,
essentially, so in my kind of the time of my 20s or whatever, this post grad timeline. I'm now, because I used to be not at home a lot, like doing a little too much, but now I'm reverting. And that leads to canceling plans on people. And, you know, we support choosing you, obviously. Choose you. You are number one. But canceling is not, I mean, it doesn't necessarily help a relationship, right? I mean, it could come off as a little disorganized. But essentially, I think I personally find it difficult. Like for example, like I want to see my friend, right? I genuinely want to hang out with her, and I want to catch up with her, for example. And I'd make the plan, but little like I rarely leave enough time for me to just decompress at home or like waste away, like watching a movie or cleaning the house or reading a book or whatever. And so I'm personally finding it difficult to um, gauge how much time I want by myself over the weekend. And so that turns into canceling. And it's okay, obviously, I mean, you're going to cancel for the rest of your life. You're going to continue to cancel. But again, it can come off as insensitive sometimes, especially when it's repeated. And so I think something that kind of just the advice portion of this for me is don't I think it's best to overestimate than underestimate how much me time you need. Because you can always do like in the moment or on the day, hey, sis, are you free? Hey, can I come over? Hey, do you want to come over? And so that's better than being like, hey, because people, you're not the only one that's busy, right? A lot of people are busy, and that notion of like people actually carved out time for you sometimes, and so just being aware of that. But yeah, the bottom line is, I think like, uh, it's best to over estimate than underestimate how much me time you need over the weekend. Sis, what are your
100%,
thoughts?
100%, I agree. And I think I would say I was on the opposite side of that spectrum where I made no plans. I had too much me time, and now I'm like craving spending time with people, which is slowly, like happening. But yeah, I think just finding the nice balance between like how much do I want to interact with people this week, and how much do I need to kind of re-energize and recoup for the following week.
Hmm.
And I think that becomes more important as you have limited days to yourself, like when you're employed or like, you don't have as much time to yourself anymore. But yeah,
Here,
that is
I
very
have a
important.
question for you.
Okay.
Do you prefer socializing on weekdays, like after work, and leaving time for yourself on weekends? Or do you like to, like, go home, self-care, whatever, weekdays, and then go crazy on weekends?
Um, I think I want like one thing to do both on the weekdays and the weekends. So like I want to meet with a person or like have brunch or have people over, maybe Saturday for brunch. Interact for a
Mm.
few hours and then like so I feel like I had like it feels like a weekend when events like that happen. When I have people over, I leave my house or blah blah blah. And then during the weekday, like I know if I go home, nothing really exciting is gonna happen. But like sometimes I do workout classes with my friends and or like there's a happy hour. So like it feels more like a full week if I have like an event on the weekday and one on the weekend. But reality is I'm mostly like I'm actually doing a lot of stuff after work on the weekdays and then weekends I'm sleeping and nobody talk to me, which is a problem that we're trying to fix. Yeah.
Do you see it's a problem,
It,
honestly?
to me right now, like, because, again, we talked about the winter time. Like, it was
Yeah.
fun and games, but then it became winter, and I was like, wait, like, I'm actually not seeing people at all.
Yeah. I
um,
think honestly, going back to one of our previous episodes referencing that, but now that it's getting warmer
yeah.
and I get to go on more walks and more encouraged to go outside and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, for next winter, I need to actively prepare.
Yeah.
I'm like, it is actually hard out there during the winter.
Mhm.
And now, like how everything is just so much easier and so much lighter, I'm like, I don't want to do that to myself again where I just go in blind. Like, I need like a workout schedule that's like kind of fun, not just straight up working out. Like, I need to figure out like all these different things that I'm now able to do that I'm outside. I need the replacements for them. Because now that it's getting warmer again, I'm like, was I just like my head under a blanket the past couple months? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Literally, that's literally how I felt as well. That's crazy. Because
Yeah.
I'm walking and I'm seeing people, and I was like, what did all of y'all do during winter? Like, what did we do? We just all stayed
Literally, I'm
home?
like, and suddenly it's like I want to go to all these restaurants, and I'm
Yeah.
like, even my own neighborhood, I'm like, why is this so pretty?
I
And
know.
now it's like I want to explore the restaurants that I haven't been to yet, and I'm
Mhm.
even noticing them. And when I haven't noticed them before, I'm like, yeah, next winter I will mentally prepare and also logistically figure out how to compensate.
100%. Yeah. That definitely needs to happen. So with that being said, a nice segue into our next topic, Mary. We've kind of been talking about how to approach relationships again.
Indeed, that
Um,
that first stage.
yeah, that first stage. So, do you want to highlight maybe um, what you've learned so far regarding those how to
Yes,
navigate
ma'am.
those relationships? Yeah,
So, for those that don't know me, I've had many failed first stages.
we all have, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's not uncommon.
yeah.
And I don't want to like come off as an expert or anything. By the way, this is just us kind of just sharing our own because we've been talking about relationships. It's been individually a front
Agreed.
runner in terms of how often we've been talking about it lately,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
we're like, let's do an episode on it.
Hmm.
So, I don't even know where to start, bro. I think you need to prompt me or something.
I
Because I'm like,
mean,
also, I need to pick my words, so.
that is fair. I guess like what are the things like for example based on your attachment style what are some things that you realized were kind of on the way or like things that you had to improve upon for a relationship to work out better or to even start.
So, So I am, as Soli so delicately said earlier, I'm definitely more anxiously attached when it comes to relationships. And so that usually kind of just for me leads to um I feel like I'm more prone to love bombing than the average gal. And that's something that I actively now think about. I am a victim of several. And so that actually, yeah, yeah, again, yeah, as an anxiously attached person, that does draw me in, unfortunately. And so, that makes me, that had really made me reflect on being more intentional about uh, the actual person as opposed to what they're doing, what they're saying, etc. And I think we have definitely mentioned this before, right? But Soli and I have been talking about every time she talks to me about a new person or I talk to her about a new person, it's so funny because either one of us like forgets about the concept and we have to remind each other. And that concept being, okay, sis, but like, hold on, that sounds awesome. But is it like the person that's like getting you this giddy? Or is it like the situation that you guys are in? Like, are you guys doing fun activities? Are you guys making dinner? Or, are they consistent texters? Love all of these things. But then I think we even now we get to a point where we're just like, okay, bro, but like, how about like let's remove all of these things, all these externalities and what they're saying and stuff, and like, how about him on an individual level? And that usually does it, honestly.
Yeah.
And we're people in our 20s, we meet people a lot. It's like, we're constantly like filtering, like, yes, no. Or, maybe, or like, I'll wait a little bit longer for this. Like, how many days do I want to go on? Or, all of these things where it's just like, there are just a lot of people coming at us right now. Like, in general, I'm not saying me and 20, like, just being in your
Yeah.
20s, right? And so I think, again, from an anxiously attached person, it makes me, it's the love bombing that gets me, honestly.
Mhm.
But I think I'll wrap it up there. So, do you have any reactions to that? And then you talk from an avoidance standpoint.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to also mention I definitely overstated the intensity of our attachment
Forgive
styles.
you. I forgive you.
But I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, I think as an avoidant, my thing is like I will look for the smallest thing to kind of be like, oh yeah, so this is not gonna work out. And the thing with that is like whatever I'm looking for in a person is like it's like insanely like perfect, right? So like I envision this perfect person, but obviously that I'm not perfect, which is weird. So like anything that does not like feel like it's, perfection to me, out the window. And I obviously mentioned on the other episode we had where I was like, yeah, I'm going to therapy and blah blah blah. And one of the main things I'm um working through is like relationships because I because I'm so like avoiding these things, I don't even get to experience and see what I like and what I don't like. And that, it becomes counterproductive, right? Like I don't even know what's good for me. I don't know what's bad for me. I'm just like, yeah. So when it happens, it's gonna happen. Which, unfortunately, apparently, you have to put yourself out there for things to happen.
So they say.
So they say.
So they say.
So that's kind of the journey I'm on. And it's scary, and I want to throw up most of the time, and
I
it's
feel that. No, it
yeah,
literally makes me ill
yeah,
sometimes. To put
literally,
myself
I'm
out there, I'm like,
shivers, bro. Like,
it literally, yeah, it's like a physical reaction.
no, it is a physical reaction,
Yeah.
and again, it's not towards the person, but like the way. you're letting yourself feel the feelings, right? And it's something foreign. So you have to let yourself like sit with it and be like, this is normal. And maybe this is going to happen for the first few days, weeks, and then you're going to grow out of it. So yeah, as
I'm with
in
you.
avoidance, it's been an interesting journey, but
I think, yeah, something that we have in common there as anxious and avoidant, this is just, I think, just being a girl in your 20s,
yeah,
is because we've been trying to, lean towards being more secure and figuring out, like for me, for the love bombing, for you trying to put yourself out there, um, figuring out exactly what we're looking for. Because, sometimes we just accept what comes to us, and that could lead to 99 different complications. Or it could
absolutely.
work out that 1 in 100th time, whatever. But usually, I think it's especially if you're thinking long term relationship. I feel like if you're thinking short term, this might not apply. But when you're thinking long term, being analytical about it is, or like trying to become, in the effort of trying to be more secure, we've been forced to think, okay, what exactly am I even looking for?
Yeah.
Like physically speaking, it's easy. Like we've
Mhm.
known since we were 12 years old. Like I want a
Yeah.
tall man, I wanted this, whatever, right? Um, but in terms of personality, I have been thinking about it for a while now, and I thought I knew. I was like, I've been knowing. You know what I mean? Like he has to be kind. He has to be this, and but then things happen, and you know things happen, and then you're like, okay, let me rethink this. Like, what is it exactly? Because we evolve. Now we've started a new phase of life. My needs have changed personally.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until like I was forced to realize that. And so that has been honestly the biggest difficulty slash kind of like exciting insight, I would say, is like I need to actually, in dating, in figuring out, in talking to these new people, what kind of man do I want in my life? You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Um, and like Mary mentioned earlier, I just want to expand on that point a bit. Uh, Usually, I think as people, we like how other people make us feel as opposed to them as a person. And I think that's something that happens way more, too often that we don't necessarily, check. Um, so yeah, whenever, again, that's what's helpful. Whenever Mary and I are talking, we're like, oh, did you have fun? Okay, but like, is it how it made you feel, or is that how you feel about the person? And usually that just silences us. We're like, oh,
Yeah. Every time.
every time, every single time. So I think that's something very important to keep in mind when it comes to relationships. But I think the more, so Mary and I are very long-term relationship kind of gals, like date
Mm-hmm.
to marry kind of vibes, like
Mm-hmm.
ideally that would be the case. But
Mm-hmm.
interestingly enough, sis, as I am putting myself out there, I'm like, okay, let's say I meet my boyfriend, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I like him, and we're together, and we get married, and then we have kids, and that's gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I just thinking out loud, right? Obviously we date with the intention of marrying, but that also means usually when you date with having that intention in mind, you don't want to be, from what I understand at least, like you're not dating a lot of people. It's like I just want to make sure I date the right one, and then you date this one guy and you're like, oh, I guess this is it. And although that is literally what I believe I want, it scares me because I'm like, well, I kind of want to live my life until I'm 30, just like me. And then
Mm-hmm.
we can add more people after that. But also, there's the aspect of craving relationships. Like, but when I feel like I already know it's gonna end, that also is just so many layers of why get into a relationship if you kind of think it's gonna end anyway, right? Um, and I think they're, it's okay for them to end, but as people like us, like Mary and I, it's kind of hard. It's a hard concept to wrap our heads around. Any thoughts on that, Mary?
I do. I really do. It's a good one. Especially, I think I really grappled with this in college.
Mm,
I was like, because, especially in college, a lot of people aren't really, I mean, there are, okay, most people, I don't really want to put people in boxes like that, but a lot of people in college aren't there for dating. Like they want to explore,
mm,
etc. Internationally, everywhere, right? No surprise. And so I was thinking about that. I'm like, okay, if obviously everybody craves intimacy, right? So it's like, the idea that you said about, if we think long term, it's we're not gonna have like 10 boyfriends, probably, right?
mm,
Before we get
yeah.
married. And so, I think the way that, and that's just probably like, I don't want to say a fact, that's highly likely.
Mm,
But the thing that has allowed me to relax, like not overthink or freak out about that concept, is thinking like not necessarily like I've gotten rid of the term dating for marriage, and I'm just thinking just like just long term. I'm just leaving it at long term,
mm,
just to, or maybe long term. Now that I'm rethinking it, maybe it's just like I don't want to date someone if I know the end, or I see that there's an end. Like I don't want to date for the sake of dating. Like I want to date, again, kind of tying back to our previous conversation. I want to date a person that I like. That, like, not about how he makes you feel or whatever. Like I think that guy's a good guy, etc.
mm,
Meets, I think, my personal requirements. And if that works, it works, and we try it. And then, obviously we can't foresee everything. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So maybe it's short. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I think if I see an end, it immediately turns me off. And if I see an
mm,
end, obviously it will never turn into a marriage. I know we
mm,
both intend on getting married. And so, uh, as long as I don't see an end, there is a potential to get married to him one day, and that's okay with me. But if I see an end, it's like, first of all, I mean, I'm not craving intimacy that much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, it's not, yeah. And so that's kind of just how I framed it. Because I felt like, the idea of dating for marriage, not that it's not true anymore, but it felt like a lot of pressure on me.
yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now I'm thinking a little more incrementally and thinking, as long as it's good and he meets that basic criteria, like, would he want kids one day? Is he open to marriage, religion, all these things that you personally like, your deal breakers,
Mm.
and then take it from there. Did I just repeat everything that you said, or did that help at
No,
all?
that was a very interesting perspective, yeah.
Okay.
Because like kind
A
of
lot of pressure, I'm with you.
yeah, it's a lot of pressure because I'm like, okay, I mean I love, but like what if there's something else that I'm not seeing, right? Like I would like the opportunity to see what's out there before I'm like, okay, this is what I want.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this on the pod before, but there was this book that I read about life in your 20s. And the doctor said you can't practice marriage once you're married.
Mm,
Or like you can't practice you can't your first long-term relationship should not be your marriage.
mm,
Like you should know what it's like, you know what I mean? Like you should, like, a lot of people in their 20s are like, I'm going to do whatever I want, ball and chain, whatever, like, I'm young and whatever. Um but the issue is you can't experience something for the first time when you do it for life, when you commit to doing it for
mm,
life. And
100%.
so, going back to what I said, it's like I don't know how many boyfriends I'm going to have before my husband. So and every relationship teaches you something, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it could leave you with trauma, but still every relationship teaches you something. And so, um that's why I'm thinking incrementally, like, is this good? And then as long as it stays good, as long as I don't see an end, or like, then I keep going. And then if it ends, it ends, because I can't foresee everything in the first month of getting to know this person.
Yeah.
And so I do think, and this is for everyone out there. If you intend on getting married, at some point before you reach your quote unquote marriage age, get in at least one long term
Yeah,
relationship
yeah.
because you don't want to figure out all the kinks and stuff. That I mean, you can, and I'm not saying you're gonna get divorced if you don't, but why would you get
Want
on
to risk that, you
a
know?
lifelong roller coaster ride if you've never experienced a baby roller coaster or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think you 100% kill that. Yeah, that's some solid
Thank you,
advice, bro.
thank you, thank you.
Um, I think that's
So that was our little
yeah,
feeler on terms of relationships. Just because we've been talking about it a lot,
yeah.
we've been yeah,
It's been a relevant topic.
it's been,
Lately.
been relevant. Some things have ended, some things are starting.
Yeah,
We're
it's-
fielding, and we thought, and
yeah,
we'll probably do another episode on relationships in the future when
100%.
if it gets if we have more insights or
Right.
new experience come up.
Yeah.
But we thought this is would be helpful for those also kind of navigating the I'm looking for like a long term boyfriend landscape.
Both
And
often,
yeah,
applicable to, any person seeking any kind of partner.
like this advice not necessarily.
For men, I
Oh no
mean,
no no men. Oh sorry, I meant long term, short term for men as
oh,
well.
oh, oh, oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for men as well, for sure, for
yeah,
sure, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
thought you meant like anyone looking for any. Oh yeah, yeah, I
Oh, no,
apologize.
no, no, I just meant like men also take
And
note.
other
Other,
genders,
yeah,
identities.
and sexualities.
Yes, yes. I think
Um,
yeah, this applies. So I don't think we had a very specific female only
outlook,
perspective
but
here.
I think
Yeah,
everyone can take something from this. Definitely.
indeed, because you're
Yeah.
very wise, sis.
So are you, sis.
Thank you, sis.
I'm wise because you're wise.
Because
We
we're
have such a
connected
on
on
a
a
cosmic
cosmic
level.
level.
Low key, I think something fun we can do is rate this episode.
This episode?
Yeah. And we can cut it out if you want to, but like I want to see
Okay.
how we rate it, like based on the conversation we had.
Okay.
Can we do on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are you
Ready?
ready? 3,
Three, two,
1.
one. 10 out of
8.6.
10.
That was a foul move. Damn it.
Because
That's a conversation for some other time.
I feel
um,
like we need to hop on a phone call after
yeah.
this. All right, guys.
Love
We
it.
hope you learned a little something.
Yeah.
Leave questions in the comments if you have any. Or a lot of you have our phone
Yeah.
numbers, so also
Yeah.
call us if you have any questions,
Or, any
any follow ups.
suggestions for these one-off, like podcasts that we do, these one-off episodes that we do. If you have anything you'd like us to discuss and talk about, leave it on the comment section below. And we're so happy you guys are here. Have a great rest of your week or weekend. Bye.
Thanks.
Ciao. Ciao.